And in this video, we are going to create a new world where we just invade with gliders. This game of life differs from other games of life in that this one never ends. Right? Normally the game of life is a closed system, which means it starts with a pre-populated world, it iterates over a series of rules, and new life is only generated based on those rules. And the world either reaches a stable point with oscillators or it dies. And this world is different. This world is an open system and it has an ongoing invasion where a new life form is added every 100 milliseconds. So one of the things that we have to do in this challenge is have an invasion of gliders so that the only life forms that are added into this world are gliders. Now if I look in the code, we can see right at the bottom, so I can see here that the game actually says start game, loop around every 5 milliseconds, and then there's an invasion function here which adds random entities into the world. And it uses this random entity method. And random entity uses this add life forms array. So if we have a look at add life forms, we can see up here that add life forms has functions that will add a new life form to the population. So we should really try and use those in an interval function. But the first thing we have to do is figure out how to start and stop invasions. So we can see that there is actually a function here called stop invasion. So I could just call that. Then even though the world is still ongoing because the game is running, nothing new is being added there. So the game is now a closed system. At some point it should stabilize and we'll just have the oscillators in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly restart the world. Then I'll stop the invasion. So we've got a much smaller world to work with here. And you can see that nothing new is being added. We've got a couple of gliders running around and a couple of oscillators. At some point this world will become stable. Since it's stable, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a glider. So I do that with add lifeforms.glider, add it into the world, and I'll add it into position 10, 0. There we go. The glider appeared. So now we can add new things into this world. And it'll probably clash into the things that are there and die. Oh, it's created an entire new colony which became stable. So I can create an invasion of gliders by taking that one glider and turning it into something that is executed every 100 milliseconds. I'll call it glider invasion. So I'll set up an interval and we'll put that add life forms into a function. And I'll run that every 1000 milliseconds. Every second we'll create a new glider and add it into the world. There we go. But all the gliders are appearing in the same place. So at some point they're all going to clash into the same things. If they ever make it all the way through the bottom, they'll turn around and start hitting each other. So an invasion should really be random. What we really want are those gliders to appear in random positions rather than the same position each time. So first we'll stop the invasion that we just created with clear interval. Then for our new invasion, instead of adding them into 10, 0, I'm going to use the getRandom function that is in the source code. And what I'll do is I'll say pick an X position from 0 to the width of the world minus 50 to give us some space. Then I'll use the world Y size, again minus 50, just to give us some space and make sure we don't accidentally go off the back of the world. So now if I start this invasion, hopefully we should see gliders starting at random positions on the screen, which they do. So now we've started to have this dynamic open system again, where the only people that are invading are gliders. What I really want is probably a faster invasion than that. So if I clear the invasion again, then start a new one with say 10 milliseconds, let's see what happens. That's better, that's more like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clear that invasion, get ready to stop the invasion, refresh the page, quickly stop the invasion, then set up our new invasion of gliders every 10 milliseconds. And this should be much more fun to watch. This is a proper invasion of things coming in from the left side of the screen and invading. We've got gliders everywhere, new colonies spawning up. Since this doesn't populate the world with any oscillators, it's a much more dynamic world than the inbuilt invasion. And that's how we create an invasion of gliders.